Yes, it all starts here. It's opening day for the Verizon IndyCar Series.
From St. Petersburg, Florida, new cars, some new faces, and an old, solid group of veterans and winners.
Get ready, stay with them here.
They call it the Valley of the Sun. They're running laps at 155 miles an hour.
Long Beach, California, a beautiful destination city with a huge sandy beach, great marinas, cruise ships, and once a year, the Verizon IndyCars.
The spectacular, undulating Barber Motorsports Park, Indy Grand Prix of Alabama.
The acceleration begins.
The new champion of the Grand Prix of Indianapolis is...
Everyone wants to win. Only one will.
And with those millions watching around the world.
By the way, it's the biggest race of your lives, gentlemen.
Here in the Motor City, in the first of the duel in Detroit.
Business is picking up at turn 7 at Belle Isle. And the green flag waves at Texas Motor Speedway.
All right, let's go.
Wheel to wheel at 210 miles an hour.
And Honda versus Chevy.
Green flag in the air. Sebastian Bourdais is the leader.
In the core of America's heartland is a tiny track that packs a speedy IndyCar punch like no other.
Green, green, green.
Well, let's go racing in Iowa.
He needs a penalty.
This is Indy Toronto, and the green flag flies.
He's making a move, but he's going to make him go to the west.
Deep into turn 3. And maybe too deep.
Welcome to the Buckeye State. Drivers, start your engines!
There is a giant crowd at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
All right, that's it. That's it. Excellent job, young man. Excellent job. You won Mid-Ohio.
The tricky triangle is definitely very tricky.
Look at this pack now.
He's not giving him anything. That's how you're supposed to race.
Over Labor Day weekend of 2016, we will welcome and host the Grand Prix of Boston.
It's the Indy Grand Prix of Sonoma. It's the championship decider. It's time to bring the action.
Race fans, there they are.
Ladies and gentlemen, in case you forgot, the Wil and Dave show may contain strong language. And also, Dave.
Yes.
The Wil and Dave show is recorded in front of a live
Studio audience.
There we are. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, Dave. I couldn't find the original music for this show. So, I'm going to have to play you something else. You're going to have to tell me if you like it. You ready?
Go for it.
Hit it!
Sounds like I should be wearing some parachute pants, but otherwise it's catchy.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like we finished the first scene and we've now gone to some 18-person mass crazy situation. But hey, it's the Wil and Dave show. For one night only, we're back! Woo! Yeah! And in typical Wil and Dave show fashion, we have no idea what we're talking about. So yeah, tweet us, hashtag RaceSpotTV. Is it me, or is this actually the first Wil and Dave show we've actually done on RaceSpot TV?
It is the first.
Yeah? Because all the other ones we did on Glacier TV of all the vodka in Finland.
And Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah. So there are a couple of things to talk about. We'll keep you up to date with stuff that's going on in iRacing, 16 Racing League. We'll talk to you about the crazy, wonderful rule changes that IndyCar have done that we have no issue with whatsoever at all. We'll talk about the NFL. We'll talk about the fact that for 1 year only, actually, the Browns probably had a better chance of having some success in the world than the Indianapolis Colts. Did you know they were down to like our 5th string quarterback? Literally.
Your 5th string quarterback is still better than Johnny Manziel.
Oh, come on. Johnny Football, he knows what to do. Honest. Yeah, I know, right? Back to Canton, Ohio, you go. And then also, you know what we could do? Because it's almost New Year's Eve.
We could drink?
we could talk about the fact that it's college football playoff time.
Oh yeah.
Except the fact we don't actually have to deal with Fallout Boy this year.
The SEC on CBS.
I don't actually have that anymore, but I have got ESPN music. We'll do something in a minute. We promise.
All right.
We promise. So yeah, welcome to the reborn for one night only Wil and Dave show. Dave, how the devil are you?
Well, I'm great. Life is good. Lots of changes since I think it was episode 33, which was like a year and 3 months ago.
And we just gave up, literally.
Well, you know, I got a new job and the regular time slot just wasn't working anymore, and then you were, commentating a lot more, and it just kind of went by the wayside. But
then you had a kid.
Everything, and now I have a son.
Yeah.
Joshua, he's taking up a lot of my time, but it's good. I like it. I love it. Wouldn't trade him for anything. And, they're bringing back a lot of old 90s things. I know we're not from the 90s, but what's old is new again, so here we are.
Yeah, did you know I stopped smoking?
Oh, you did? Good for you.
Yeah.
By saving a lot of money.
Yeah, still drink, because
that's all right.
Alcohol is bad and gay, but yeah, no more smoking. So you've had a kid, I've stopped smoking, so essentially now you spend more money than I do.
Hey, but both big life accomplishments.
Yes, indeed. Should we talk about how IndyCar are useless once again?
Oh, IndyCar, yeah. You take 2 steps forward and 2.5 steps back.
Right. 2 and 1 here. I mean, I'll tell you what, I don't mind the double points rule, because double points have always existed at IMS. So the journalists are like, oh, they should have double points at the Indianapolis race. They've had that since 1909, pretty much. But there's still double points at Sonoma. And let's be honest, it's Sonoma Raceway. It's the biggest waste of time and energy ever.
Yeah, I've never understood the double points at Sonoma. It's almost like we're randomly going to put double points at a race, and it's going to be Sonoma because it happens to be the last race of the season. I get that they're trying to draw a little more attention to the final race, like NASCAR. Oh, we got the chase. It's a one-race elimination. So I get that, but at the same time, you look at Montoya leads the points every single race last year, and he has one little flub, finishes still in like the top 5 and can't win the championship.
Yeah. I think that's the one thing that sticks in my mind now. Of course, you know that I'm a Ganassi fan, so I'm happy that Dixie won the championship. But that is one that do you remember that time they had it in F1 and we were all really worried that the German might beat Lewis Hamilton? Wait, can we call him a German, or do we still have to call him the German, Austrian, Finnish thing?
Whatever Rosberg is. It's funny though, Formula 1 actually, for one brief shining moment, had some sense and said, yeah, you know what, this double points thing's stupid. Let's not do it ever again.
Yeah.
And let's not talk about it ever again.
Yeah.
And they probably were secretly happy that Rosberg blew up in that final race of double points, so it didn't matter. And
literally, Bernie Ecclestone will chuck any TV broadcaster that ever mentions the fact that they ever did do double points off of ever having a... By the way, did you hear that BBC have stopped having F1 commentary, not F1 broadcasting?
Yeah, why would they do that?
Apparently they have no money.
How does the BBC have no money?
Well, what happens is that they spend all of their money on taking on ITV, which is basically our biggest non-public broadcaster, showing useless tat. So what happens is on the Saturday night, we have one broadcaster showing idiots trying to pretend that they know how to sing, and on the other channel, the BBC, they have idiots who are Z-list celebrities dancing around in circles as if literally they've entered a mental institute. But that's what their money's spent on, and they would say, oh, but sport, we don't have any money left. So they've sold the rights to another network that's never done F1 before, which is like, how every family's got that random member of the family that no one actually really likes, but they have to talk to them and then they'll get engrossed in a 2-hour conversation about the environmental impact of throwing away your turkey at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I see one of my family members right now fitting that mold perfectly.
Yeah, so that's essentially what's going to happen to the Formula One, and everyone's like, "Oh, but Will, you go and try to commentate, yay!" No, because I'd fall asleep. Simple as that.
Yeah, I'm reading the comments on our YouTube channel, and Brandon Trost wants the BBC channel in America.
You do have the BBC channel in America.
Exactly.
It's called BBC America. Now, yes, you have commercials. I'm going to say one thing to you, Brandon. It's okay. What you do is you rewind back about 30 minutes, and you just skip through the commercials on your DVR. It's as simple as that. And I'm not going to lie to you. Yes, you have more commercials than we do in America, but because of the fact that I watch so much college football, here's the thing. In America, you guys actually, get commercials. Over here, every time they try and say, wait, I actually need music for this. You ready? Every time they try and say, college football on ESPN is brought to you by, they'll start saying the word advert, and then stop it. And then they'd cut to this random cut screen which shows BT Sport or ESPN. And it's like, I want to just see a pretty commercial. But they wouldn't let you. And then also, because of the fact that in the UK, we're only allowed to show a certain amount of actual commercials per hour, and of course, in America, for live sports, you kind of have more than that, I just end up having to see these people jump up and down like utter idiots. So, actually, you don't have it better in the United Kingdom, so get your facts right.
Wait, you're expecting Brandon Trost, BT, to get his facts straight?
No comment.
If we still figured out if Brandon Trost and Trino are the same person.
Well, we did put them on track once, didn't we?
True, and I do believe that Trost had the better outcome.
Yeah, so that's why I'm thinking that actually Brandon Trino's car was driven by an imposter.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, although the two have raced, I believe, in 16th Street Racing League at some point, which leads us onto a moderately interesting segue, because I'm going to copy and paste this for you so you can actually kind of see it. 16th Street Indianapolis 500 qualifying is underway, and as it stands right now, we have ourselves Bradley Walters from Tim Doyle, from Tim Holgate, from Brandon Trost, from Christian Steele, Randy Cosno, Ray Norton, Joe Bryant, Matt Pavelski, and Austin Espartee as your top 10 in qualifying.
Hey, my teammate is 10th, Austin Espartee.
It's going to be interesting because we thought we were down to 2 drivers separated by absolutely nothing. They were, of course, Matt Pavelski and Tim Holgate, but with double points on the line, actually, there are technically 4 drivers in the hunt for the championship.
You take the Indy 500 by itself, and it's a balls to the wall, gotta win, only thing to do if you're here is win. It's the Indy 500. Then you add a championship decider on top of that with 4 guys that could mathematically win the championship, and we know on iRacing anything can happen. That could be really, really entertaining to see what happens, especially between the 2 top guys. And what if one of the 3rd, 4th place guys pulls a Dixon and gets in the lead on a strategy play, and the other guys can't get back up there, or they're desperately trying to get in a position where they'll outscore that guy. I mean, this could be crazy.
It could be. When you talk about the fact that anything can happen at Indy, do you mean that actually I could commentate in Indy 500 stone cold sober?
Well, I think the surprising thing would be that you could do anything stone cold sober, right?
Well, yeah, true. For those of you that want to know, actually the first Indy 500 I ever commentated, I can talk about this now, it was many years ago. The person who I was chilling with in America decided that every time there'd be a caution, he'd give me a shot. What he never told me was that the shot glasses were double size. So, thankfully, there was only 4 cautions in that race. Otherwise, I would have been in a little bit of a bad situation.
Wait, was that when we were in Indy, or was that a different race?
That was the year before you were with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the first year I was there. To run through the rest of your top 20, by the way, Dave Jinks, Niles Anders, Paul Jennings, Jim McClure, Scott Manafal, Terry Martinson, Adam Glock, Donald Strout, which has nothing to do with Trump at all, Eric Davis, and Joe Flanagan. There you are. There are your top 20. More qualifying to come. And it might even be here on Racesport TV. We're not quite sure yet. Something will happen over the course of the next 45 minutes. Let's actually go back from sim racing to real racing. Let's talk about the other thing that IndyCar have done in an interesting way. They've decided that they are going to completely get rid of bump day. So, you know, bump day, one of the most famous days in all of IndyCar. Let's not forget, was it 1994, 95? When Penske couldn't actually get a car into the field, you know.
1995.
There we are. That was exciting. But no, we decided we don't want to have ourselves bump day anymore. And this is actually a year where we probably could get more than 33 cars. But instead, all we'll do is basically, we'll make of that any old school IndyCar qualifying session.
Well done, IndyCar.
Yeah.
Well done. You've blown it yet again. Sunday is bump day, 6 p.m. Fire the gun off at 6 and just let the chips fall where they may. But no, we got to screw it up and then reset the times. And, oh, by the way, run again. Why?
I know. You know, actually, one of my favourite bump days in modern memories, I think it was 2010 when you had Ryan Hunter-Reay, Marco Andretti, Danica Patrick, all vying for 2 spots in qualifying, and for a moment we thought that little crybaby himself might not actually get into the Indy 500, and then it ended up being Ryan Hunter-Reay, who then actually bought someone else's car, because everyone forgets that Andretti's the only team in IndyCar that actually has money.
Yeah, I think he bought out like Bruno Junqueira or something like that to get in.
And let's be honest, we all love Bruno Junqueira.
Oh, of course. I mean, he's a fun name to say.
Yeah, precisely.
Junqueira.
So let's be honest. ABC will be like, well, nothing for us to do on Sunday. We might as well get Alan Bestwick high on cocaine, spin him around in a circle, and get him talking about anything. Can you imagine a conversation between Dr. Jerry Punch and Alan Bestwick where both were drunk? How just random it would be.
Yeah, and I imagine things would get pretty boring after a while, because it's like, okay, well, you know, all 33 cars are requalifying. Woo.
No, and Alan Bestwick will have to do it in his Alan Bestwick voice as well. So he has to make it sound as though he has a little bit of excitement every so often. Although, ironically, Alan Bestwick does have one of the play calls of the year, because, of course, he called the... was it Duke Miami final play, the 14 million laterals, where it should have been ruled down, but let's be honest, the ACC don't know how to referee.
Oh, yeah, with the million laterals. And yeah, I mean, he had a great call. It was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
You'd have thought there was a NASCAR race going on, and there was a Talladega finish.
I know.
It kind of was like the Talladega of football plays.
It was. It was the stupidest college football play I've seen. And I will say, though, on a segue, there have been some very entertaining final plays in the game this year. BYU in week number 1 was pretty darn awesome. The blocked punt was great. And I just remember some guy saying, "Oh, what a time to be alive!" Then we had the blocked punt Michigan State. We had ourselves the go home field goal, which meant that Michigan State beat Ohio State. Yeah, I know. What's happened to the state of Ohio this year?
Well, they choked against Michigan State, and then they come out next week and dominate Michigan. If they would have done half the effort against Michigan State, they'd be in the championship 4, no problem.
I think this is the thing as well, is that we spent the entire year saying, Ohio State haven't actually had the strength of schedule like anyone in the Big 12, and the first time they actually had to play someone of any mediocre talent, they choked, literally.
Well, yep. Well, even during the season, they were having a hard time with some mediocre teams. I mean, the only reason I remember this is because my wife was in labor and got kicked out of the room while they were giving her a bunch of shots, and I'm watching the Ohio State game in the hallway of the hospital. They're playing Indiana, a nobody nothing Big Ten team.
They were a basketball team,
and they had the lead against Ohio State. And I'm like, oh my god, their quarterback was running all over the place and like getting 150 yards rushing. It's like, dude, you guys are Ohio State. You should be pounding these guys in the ground.
I won't lie to you. Watching that Indiana game, because I did watch it, it was absolutely hilarious. Actually, Indiana almost won a bowl game against Duke, and they lost it with
questionable call.
Yeah, did you see it?
Yes, the rules are stupid. You can't review a field goal kick if the ball goes higher than the plane of the uprights.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie to you. From the first angle, yes, it did look questionable, but from the second angle I saw that one, it was a field goal. Pure and simple.
Yeah, the camera that's mounted on the field goal post that looks straight up, the ball clearly goes inside the post.
Yeah, and it should have been double OT. What was it? Ole Miss playing someone on CBS when they had the 5 OT that was going on this year. It wasn't Vandy. Who was it they were playing? My memory's going old in my old age, you know that, Dave.
What I want to know is what happened to your Auburn Tigers?
They forgot how. We spent the year. They were pre-ranked like really high. Many people had them number 1 in the country. And it's like, oh, Will Muschamp, this is going to be actually, he doesn't know how to run a defense. And at the same time, they've forgotten how to run an offense. So, they almost lost to Jacksonville State. I mean, yes, Jacksonville State are a team that I think are playing in the FCS.
Yes, they're a Division II team, essentially.
They're in the FCS, and yes, they did make the playoffs. I don't know if they won because I didn't bother to do my research, but I mean, come on, this is Auburn in the SEC. Not only SEC, the dominant division of the SEC. We're not talking about like Missouri here. You know, this is one of the teams that play in the Iron Bowl every year, and they almost lost to Jacksonville State, who at some points, let's be honest, at the same time, though, probably still better than actual Jacksonville.
Hey, don't criticize Jacksonville too much. They may be the London Jaguars before too long.
Oh, don't. Yeah, it's a joke. It's an actual joke.
It's okay. You can have the Cleveland Browns. Al Nagy and I want the Browns to move out of town. We're done with them.
Well, it's an interesting one because we're at that point of the year where everyone's starting to move again. And the one team that actually hasn't been mentioned, which normally does around this time, it's actually Cleveland. They're sticking around, it seems.
Yeah, Cleveland won't be going anywhere for a little while, but they're just so bad. They might as well move. I don't think anybody would care.
But the thing is, Johnny Football has had a couple of decent games.
It's so much deeper than that. I mean, from the owner on down, everybody, it's just like a mess. It's an utter mess.
Well, let's be honest. You don't have some guy as your owner who is basically so jumped up on pills. They have to hold him up in the post game show.
Are you talking about Jerry Jones?
I'm talking about Jim Irsay.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Yes, good Jim Irsay.
Suitcase full of pills and cash. Doesn't everybody do that?
Yeah, I know, right? That's just a standard Sunday. So, yeah. Although, to be fair, CBS and everyone's been running a story that apparently there's now only 9 things that need to happen for the Indianapolis Colts to make the playoffs. Would you like to hear this?
Absolutely.
I'll stop. CBS music?
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. In order for the Indianapolis Colts to make the AFC playoffs, which will be on NBC, ESPN, and also on CBS, all that needs to happen is the Colts beat the Texans, the Texans lose to the Jaguars, the Bills beat the Jets, the Dolphins beat the Patriots, the Ravens beat the Bengals, the Falcons beat the Saints, the Raiders beat the Chiefs, the Broncos beat the Chargers, and the Steelers beat the Browns.
Well, I know the Steelers are going to beat the Browns, so they only have to worry about 8 other things.
Well, yeah. Although apparently Peyton Manning might be back to play against the Chargers. which isn't that the team that he like completely messed his body up the first time?
Probably. He's so messed up it could have been any of the other 31 teams.
Yeah, I like the fact that I don't normally like anything that the Onion Post did, but they did this whole story about the fact that the NFL was giving him special allowance to give him a seeing eye dog on field of him.
If the seeing eye dog can throw the ball deeper than 30 yards, they might have a shot.
No, it's okay. Basically, the dog just sits at the line with screws and goes, whoop, 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 whoop. And then basically, Peyton just stood there. It just goes, Yeah, I do like the fact that he beat Brett Favre's NFL record for passing yards on the same day he gets a 0.0 quarterback rating. I'm sorry.
He basically threw enough yards to beat the record and was immediately removed from the game and has not been on the field since.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Well, we got some controversy brewing in the comments section.
Yeah, we always have. Have. And I'm not going to lie to you, most of it I ignore. So, should we ignore it like we normally do?
Yeah.
Yeah, shall we move on?
We should talk about some of the old days of the Wil and Dave show. Like, remember when we single-handedly increased the participation of the Lotus 49 by 1,000%?
Oh God, yeah.
I think it was you, me, Jim Swinbanks, one of the Kingsberries, Trost, and like 3 other random people. We made the very first race go official at Phillip Island with no practice, and it was quite the sight.
Yeah. I remember that, actually. It does tie into a very interesting plan that Racesport TV has for 2016. I can't tell you anything about yet, but I'm hoping to have the deal finalised in a week's time. So I'll probably be able to tell you in a week, but by that point, we probably won't talk to each other for another 18 months. So by the time I actually tell you, it'll be old.
Can we have
new news?
Can we have a hint for any of the 11 people who might be watching right now posting emojis of fruit or toilets or checkered flags or anything like that?
It'll be called a Racesport TV Primetime.
Ooh, so prime time. Like Daytona prime time?
Yeah. Kind of. But yeah, that's all I'm allowed to tell you at this stage. We'll find out more very soon on Racesport TV.
Hardy har har.
Hardy har har. Did you know that Christian Horner is complaining that Mercedes dominance is hurting Formula 1? This is the same Christian Horner who I just need to remember, how many years did Red Bull dominate for?
4.
Yeah. It's just
so
like
according to Mercedes has 2 more years to go before they can match Red Bull. So Horner shouldn't really complain about anything. Horner's lucky the team even still exists right now.
Yeah, everyone's talking about the fact they'll have Lamborghini engines in 2017, which essentially is going to mean they'll go 400 miles an hour, then blow up on lap 2.
Then they'll blow up.
Yeah. It's like, look at that, we've got fastest car than anyone in front. Oh, he's blowing side of the road again. What is wrong about car?
I think Red Bull should focus on making their car faster instead of trying to screw with Ron Dennis and McLaren.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're like, oh, we stole your sponsor, and we're gonna name our secret Renault engines off of your old title sponsor.
And the only reason why we're doing that is because we don't want anyone to know that actually we couldn't get ourselves another engine. So we're having to use exactly... But, oh, yeah, they don't even let us call it the Works engine anymore. So we have to call it another name. And we didn't like the idea of Supertech, because that's too 1990s. Oh, yeah.
The politics of Formula 1 are more interesting than the racing itself, which is a problem.
The racing this year has been ridiculous. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not been great. I mean, in certain years, you always have those 1 or 2 races that is like, oh, yeah, it was actually a really good race. Now, I'm going to get lauded for this. I can't remember the great races of F1 in 2015.
I think Coda... with the rain, drizzle, drying rain, that was kind of a decent race. I mean, there was a lot of overtaking. I mean, some of the Red Bulls were up front for a little while. Other than that, I mean,
Yeah.
What else is there?
Oh, wait. Susie Wolf retired that she was retiring from Formula One after she drove a Williams in free practice one twice. I remember the first time she did it at Silverstone, she spun within about 10 minutes whilst all British camp. I was just like, yep, she's a joke. Off we go. And basically now it'll be a case of, well, yeah. Oops, sorry. Well,
I've got a breaking news story for you. Major announcement.
Wait. Would you like some music to go with this?
Absolutely.
There we are.
I'd like to announce that after driving the Williams on iRacing, I'm retiring from Formula One effective immediately.
You're not.
I am. It's just, testing and everything's been fun, but, I'm just too tired, and I got to focus on my family, so I'm going to have to hang up the helmet and retire from Formula One.
Are you going to marry a German team manager?
No, I'm already married to an Italian, so I can't marry a German team manager.
Okay.
But that would have been a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if I married Claire Williams, I could just own part of the team.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to make any comments about Sir Frank, because Sir Frank is legendary. I'll tell you what, my Motorsports Moment of the Year, it doesn't... Yes, IndyCar had a number of them, but did you see the Rossi versus what's-his-face crash at Malaysia?
Which one?
The one where Rossi stopped being Angel. It's like, oh, I deliberately hit the guy with my knee.
No, I don't remember that one.
Oh, I've forgotten the driver. I'm going to get shot for saying it wasn't Lorenzo. 2015 Moto GP Malaysia. This is how we do our research.
Didn't he kick him or something?
Yeah, it was Marc Marquez. That was the one. And let's be honest, there's a reason why I can't remember Marc Marquez's name. Because I don't like him. Simple as that. I don't like you, Mark. Your name, it just drifts out of my consciousness because of that I can't be bothered. But yeah, it's like, well, I just got to hit you. I put my knee, it goes into your bike, and then you go off of the track.
It sounds an awful lot like Kimi Räikkönen.
It is. It's like trying to do Italian. It turns up to be Finnish. I literally only have 2 accents, don't I?
I thought you had a third. Atataquengo.
No, this is the one that I see is my actual third accent. Yeah, it's come back.
I forgot his first name, but I remember the last name.
George.
I remember the stupid, horrible, 15-letter last name, but I can't remember George.
I know, right? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wil and Dave show. It used to be every Thursday, then Friday, then Friday, then Thursday, then Saturday night. It's only on
Thursday, Raw Thursday.
Oh,
I can't find that. I can't find that episode on YouTube. The Thursday Raw Thursday one.
You know,
it got taken down or something.
What? It's the best, worst episode of Raw ever.
Oh man, we used to do those Carb Cup races.
Yeah.
I was listening to one where you were basically just doing a Darrell Waltrip for 5 minutes, going, "Go Mikey, go Mikey, go Mikey," and I was trying to win the race by side drafting on the outside by myself, and Paul Jenkins was screaming at me to get back in line, and yeah, good times.
Yeah, that was the day. Those were the days.
And Jim Swinbank's coming in and
I don't want to give you this fucking lighter.
Doing his Bogan accent and talking about how Will Power's a Bogan, and
but we
really had a good run.
He's my favorite racing driver of all time.
Yeah, didn't you try to put a curse on him at Indy or something last year, or a hex or something?
No, it was that Fontana year before, and then he kind of won the championship, and then I tried being nice to him at Indy, and ended up well, it's Will Power.
He straight up ignored you, didn't he?
Yeah. Everyone else was really nice, but it's Will Power.
But didn't you get a picture with him in the airport or something?
Yeah, because my plane got delayed, and apparently in America, you guys don't know what a first-class lounge is.
This is America.
Yeah, this is...
Unless you paid for it, you ain't getting it.
Yeah, oh yeah. And Penske apparently can't be bothered. Penske basically was like, yeah, unless you're going to win multiple championships, you're not going in that first class lounge. I'm sorry, Will. Back you go to economy class.
To be fair, you were in Detroit. There's no first class anything in Detroit.
Yeah, it's literally a case of welcome aboard this Southwest Airlines flight calling to Indianapolis. Now, unless you're black, why don't you have yourself a nice opportunity to get yourself on the plane, sir? And if you're black, well, why don't you wait here to see if we think you might be a terrorist?
Were people eyeing you up as a terrorist, Will?
Not there. You know, I went to Thailand and Vietnam.
How was that?
Interesting.
Did you just put locations into a hat and you drew that?
Literally, I put locations into a hat, came up with Thailand, and thought, yeah, but if I'm going to go to Thailand, I'm going to Vietnam as well. And it's like, yeah. I'm going to explain to you Vietnamese customs, right?
Okay.
Imagine a line where you're all queuing up. Now, imagine at the front of this line is a Vietnamese customs officer who really doesn't want to be there.
Okay.
Now, imagine at some point they think, there's too many people. Let's go and make ourselves another line. And they get these military people to go and say, go into this line. And everyone runs from one line to another. Then it turns out that the first line was actually going to be faster because the person who's going to start the second line hasn't actually stopped shitting. So he's still sat there in the toilet and you're all waiting for him to actually come out to go to his desk. Then the guy spends about 5 minutes. He's like, yeah, can't be bothered doing this. Closes the line. So you have to run back into the first line. Then all the people from the plane come out, which is actually the same line as yours. You have to wait for the plane people to go out. And then basically you just sat there thinking, what the hell is going on? It took 2 hours to go through customs and there's only 100 people there. Basically, I think Vietnam, because of course they got a socialist government, I think that they deliberately make tourists run around in circles like an actual idiot to prove that socialism works. And that's the last time I'm allowed to go to Vietnam.
That's the backwards logic that socialists use in general, so makes sense.
Yes. So.
But don't you live in the socialist paradise of Great Britain?
Oh yeah, Jeremy Corbyn. Apparently now I do, don't I?
I remember saying that one time, and I think you just lost it.
Yeah. Oh, and not only that, let's not forget that we have ourselves the fact that I live in Birmingham, which is the Islamic Salafate. So you know, there's areas where I just literally can't go around. Even though I've taken John Goke around Birmingham, he didn't die.
Well, anything I say about that will probably not be a good idea, so I'm going to withhold comment on that.
Yes.
That was also several years ago. It may have been less terrorist-y then.
Yeah, true. But it's a weird one because, yeah, that was an interesting holiday. Although, I was originally going to go via China when I went to Thailand. Until I realised that I go to America quite a lot. To try and go via China, I'm going to Chinese stamp on my passport would probably get me another weird look. And let's be honest, trying to get through American customs can be a pain in the backside as it is for me.
Well, when are you just going to move to America and get it over with?
Dude, honest. Dave, are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready? Wait.
Yes.
Oh, it's not got the actual music. It's not got the wording on it. We're going to have to make it up.
It's Thursday, Raw Thursday.
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 There we are. There's a blast to the past. It's been a while since we've done that. But yeah. It'll be soon. Basically, if anyone's got any spare daughters that basically they want to give me to marry and I never see, let me know. Text me on Will Vincent. I didn't actually say that, American Customs. Honest at I'd love to come back to your country.com.
Are you going to upload this episode to iTunes?
If I can remember the login details, maybe.
You got lazy near the end there's only like 25 episodes on iTunes, but we did like 33. So I was looking on iTunes for the Thursday Raw Thursday episode, and I didn't know which one it was, and I didn't want to go through 25.
So basically, what you're telling me is, for New Year's Eve present, I've got to go back through all the old episodes of the Wil and Dave show and just put the rest of them on iTunes.
You should. And what you should do is say, hey, we got a lot of people listening to this show, IndyCar. How about you let us talk about IndyCar an hour a week and pay us for it, and we can be your podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, Mr. Perry, it was funny, but it also was kind of stupid. Because, giving someone the number for an FBI office without telling them what it is in advance does as much against our fine police officers who are doing so much hard work than me actually calling them in the first place. But hey,
do you remember when you called Lowe's asking if they carry the boom confetti cannon?
Yes, that was hilarious.
See, we were doing confetti before it was cool, and that Kane guy was doing it on the forum and getting banned.
Yeah. Boom.
What's his name?
I forgot.
What's his real name?
I won't lie to you. My forum posting just stopped last year. So it was just like, wow. Yeah. My post count was at 8,500. Oh, I remember him. Yeah. I remember him.
Yeah, remember he got banned from the forums for seeing the boom confetti gif like 7,000 times on the forum.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people have been banned from the iRacing forums.
And then apparently he's getting in trouble for calling out Joe Hassert on YouTube. And then there was a forum problem. Shocking, I know, an IndyCar forum issue. And then there was that. Yes.
Really?
I guess there was a week 13. There was a week 13 race that this Kane Cook was in, and Joe Hassert happened to be in, and somebody, was complaining that you're not taking this week 13 IndyCar race at Bristol seriously. So they posted a video of that person complaining, and then complaining person protested, and then protested person went on the forums and tried to vaguely pretend like it wasn't them, but it was them.
Oh my god!
And I just sit in my living room at 2 a.m. after I've put my son back to bed, reading the forum and just having a laugh, then going back to sleep.
You see, I have to kind of behave these days.
You have to be professional.
I do, yeah. Because of the fact that apparently I talk incoherently for certain races that iRacing broadcasts. So things like the Wil and Dave show has to be a rare occurrence unless I'm sober. Yeah.
See, I founded a team called Hold My Beer Motorsport, so basically anything goes.
Yeah, but to be fair, they're not the greatest team on iRacing anymore.
What, Hold My Beer?
Yeah.
Well, who's the best team now?
Are you ready?
It better not be that Alphabet Soup team that does Formula 1 now.
Hold my broken Rebel X Aero Raptor Daddy Banshee Snakes as Jesus takes the wheel through a power slide.
Well, who is it?
Oh, I didn't actually come through properly. Down towards turn number 3 they come. Well, you see, I actually had a pre-recorded version of that, and I hit the wrong button, so I'm going to actually have to do it live. Are you ready?
What? Wait. We'll do it live!
Yeah. Beep! Here we are. Live! It's time for... Actually, no. You know what? You know how they, on Sunday Night Football, they always say, Devon James, The Ohio State University.
Yes.
It'd literally be... Matt Pavelski, team enthusiastically hold my broken Rebo X Aero Raptor Daddy Banshee Snakes as Jesus takes the wheel for a power slide. University.
Brought to you by Campbell's Alphabet Soup.
Yeah, literally. I have to say, Sunday Night Football this year sucked. They need to get rid of Bob Costas. I'm not going to lie to you. They need to get rid of Chris Collinsworth.
Here's the thing I don't understand about Sunday Night Football. They're allowed to flex games that are better into Sunday night coverage, and they still stink.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there was talk of flexing the Steelers-Browns game on the Sunday night because the Steelers have a shot at getting into the playoffs, and they try to show a game that has playoff implications on Sunday night. It's like you're going to make these poor Browns fans wait till 8 o'clock on a Sunday night to get embarrassed on national television again.
Yeah. That would just be hilarious. To be fair, though, they have got the Vikings instead.
The Vikings have got a shot to get the division because the
Hey,
Packers
the
have fallen
Colts still have a
face.
shot.
Well, yeah, because the Colts are in a horrible division. Jacksonville's still mathematically in it, aren't
Whoa!
they? Yeah.
The Eagles have just released Chip Kelly.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta go to ESPN and check that out.
You know where he's going to end up, though, don't you?
Back at Oregon?
No, he's going to end up in the Colts. I'm saying it right now. Because we've been saying that he's going to be, Chuck Pagano's going to go. Everyone's like, Nick Saban. Nick Saban's going to leave Alabama. He's on one of the custiest jobs in football. But that's crazy. Because actually, I kind of understand it from one perspective. But the Eagles haven't sucked completely this year.
Yeah, but if they would have played, like, I don't know, just even slightly better, they'd have had that division 3 weeks ago.
Well, yeah, and it's the thing is, the NFC East is interesting because the Giants can be fantastic and suck within 2 weeks of each other. Yep. The Washington Redskins, I mean, who could imagine we'd be talking about the Redskins going to the playoffs? And then we've got the Dallas Cow... Sorry. But you know what I mean. So I had a little thing stuck in my throat.
You just can't say Cowboys, huh?
No, I can't. It's interesting actually because I'm having a look to see who's playing whom this weekend, and it's boring. Let's be honest. We got Jets at Bills. Yawn.
Jets still have a chance to get in the playoffs.
Could you imagine if the Jets were to make the playoffs and the Giants didn't?
That's very well possible.
Could you imagine what New York newspapers would be like?
They'll probably just ignore it.
Yeah. I'm like, no NFL to think about anymore. I know the 14 Jets fans. I was like, we're in the playoffs. Patriots Dolphins is gonna be, if the Colts can beat the Dolphins, then anyone can. Although, what's happened to the Deflatriots recently?
Yeah, they lost to the Jets last week because in overtime the Patriots won the coin toss and decided to defer.
Yeah, I mean, in college football, you always defer on overtime. You never defer in NFL overtime. It's simple. It's so simple. A black English guy can tell you that.
Well, Bill Belichick outthought himself, I guess.
Yeah. Saints Falcons. Of course, Falcons have the distinction of doing nothing all season, then defeating the Carolina Panthers.
Falcons still technically in playoff contention.
Yep, although they have actually got a positive record this year compared to last year. When they made the playoffs, I think, with a negative.
They were 7-9 and made the playoffs.
Yeah, I know, what a joke. I mean, that's like those people that make bowl games for being 5-7. Although all the 5-7 teams have actually won their bowl games so far. I mean, what a joke. Lions and Bears. I mean, 2, 6, and 9 teams. Both of them suck this year. Both of them suck most of the time. Yeah. Then you've got Eagles and Giants, which basically is going to be two teams rolling around in the mug saying, "Someone help me!"
By the way, my favorite bowl game is the San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl.
Wow.
How do you even fit all that into the trophy?
How do you fit it onto the graphic?
How do you fit it onto the field?
Yeah, wait, say that again? San Diego?
The San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl.
Oh, my word.
I hear Will Vincent typing right now on Wikipedia.
I am, yeah. I'm trying to... Oh, my... It's got one of the worst logos of any college bowl I've ever seen as well.
But it's still a better logo than IndyCar's new logo.
Oh, my God, that... you know, apparently I've heard that that's not actually IndyCar's fault. It's Ryder, which is like, hey guys, you know that $20 we give you a year? Yeah, we decided we're going to do something with our power. Here's your new logo.
Like, when the Browns changed their helmet color and called that a new logo, the IndyCar logo, by comparison, makes the Browns look like they changed, like, everything.
Yeah.
They have a, you know, it's just a black and white IRL logo with the Verizon lowercase words next to it and a little tiny red check mark. I mean,
yeah,
that couldn't get any more pointless.
By the way, to let you know, in the 2015 San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl, Boise State beat Northern Illinois 55-7.
Yes, I believe that Northern Illinois had a total of like 36 yards of offense.
Wow, have they got Johnny Manziel there as their quarterback? They might as well have. That's hilarious. Although New Year's Eve is upon us, we'll talk about that in a moment's time. I'm just having a look for the rest of the games, actually. The Bengals lost because of the fact that AJ McCarron can't play football. We could have told you that when he played for Alabama, you idiots.
And he got hurt.
Yeah. Oh dear, what a shame. Steelers, yawn. Raiders, Chiefs, yawn. Chargers, the only reason why I want to watch Chargers Broncos because I do actually want to see Peyton Manning come into the field with a Zimmer frame.
A full body cast.
Yeah.
He's got a little machine that zings the ball out of his hand.
Seahawks Cardinals could be an interesting one.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
Because if Arizona wins and the Panthers lose, Arizona then gets the number 1 seed in the NFC, home field advantage throughout the playoffs. That'd be a huge turn for the Panthers because they were, we're going undefeated, and you can go from undefeated to not even have home field in the championship game if those two meet.
I'm not going to lie to you. I think the Carolina Panthers lost deliberately. Would you like to know why?
Of course, I'd like
to know
why.
Who wants to be on Sunday Night Football playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Because the thing is, if the Panthers had gone 15-0, they would have had to, by default, been on Sunday Night Football. Agreed?
Yep. I think so.
Against the Bucks. I mean, really? What's wrong?
And then if you lay an egg on Sunday Night Football against Jameis Winston, how bad do you look?
I know, right? You might as well end up at some frat house and then end up going, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes.
But, and then the 49ers, of course, had the curse of the Super Bowl, which the Cardinals had last year, didn't they? Because they were going to be the first team to go to play at their home stadium for the Super Bowl. And then
Carson Palmer got hurt, and then their backup Doug Stanchion got hurt. They had to rely on their third-string quarterback to play in the playoffs, and it just didn't work out.
That's not an excuse, though. I mean, come on, Ohio State. They can make it work. Why can't the Cardinals?
College football versus the NFL.
I know, right? But 49ers, 4-11.
A dumpster fire.
Yeah. I mean, I will say one thing. Harbaugh got out when he needed to.
Yep, he saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah. Who can imagine that? The Vikings, 10-5.
Yeah, what a turnaround from last year. Teddy Bridgewater, the quarterback that the Browns spent $100,000 creating a study to see who they should draft as quarterback. And the study said Teddy Bridgewater. So who'd they draft?
Oh, Johnny Football, that's the one. And they traded up for him as well, because,
Yes.
Why? Just why? But I will say one thing. College football playoffs this year, I'm really looking for. They are, even though I didn't expect them to be those kind of games, I think they're going to be fantastic games to watch.
I think so, too. It'll be interesting to see if Clemson can... Even though Clemson is the underdog in the game, even though they're undefeated, so that should be very interesting anyway. And then let's see if the Big Ten champ Michigan State can do anything against the hated Crimson Tide.
Yawn. Yeah, anyone says roll tide around me, they do unfortunately have to get hurt. But Clemson, Oklahoma is going to be a very interesting game, because of course, Oklahoma lost to Texas, because, you know, that's what you need to do if you want to start yourself a winning program. And they've just been fantastic ever since. And Clemson, we have to be honest, have had some great games this year. They beat Florida State in ACC conference play. They beat Notre Dame. So it's not as if they've had a poor schedule. But at the same time, there has been 1 or 2 times when you're thinking, well, yeah, maybe we should see whether you guys can actually tough it out. But they did win the ACC championship game. And, of course, you know, Oklahoma playing in the Big 12. And they're all backwards in the Big 12. They don't know what a championship game is.
Yeah, you're a Power 5 conference and you don't have a championship game. They're lucky they even have a team in the playoffs.
I know. And I actually think the fact they got demoted to 4 was a message from the playoff committee saying, yeah, go get yourself a championship game, or we're doing that every single year.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But the thing is, they would have had a championship game, but of the fact that it was Texas, really, that completely started off the whole issue, because when the Longhorns Network came along, it was like, yeah, we're going to show high school football, and A&M were like, yeah, no, you're not. See you later. Bye! Typical Big 12. Big 12 with 10 members.
Oops.
Okay, yeah.
And then you got the Big 10 with 12 members.
And they got 14.
I thought it was 12.
They've either got 12 or 14. I could be wrong. Let's have a look, shall we? The Big 10. 14, yeah.
Who can search Wikipedia? Yep, 14.
Yeah, it's them and the SEC that's basically trying to get themselves the first super conference, aren't they? Although, yes. I do wonder sometimes, because both... It's like the East Division of the Big 10, actually pretty good. Especially when you consider basketball and football. IU, you know, good at basketball. Maryland, not bad at basketball. Michigan, powerhouse supposedly. There will be once again in football. Michigan State, great at football. Ohio State, pretty good. Pitt are a team that you never want to face. Rutgers, good at basketball. Then you have a look at the West Division. I mean, Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern, Purdue, and Wisconsin. Yeah. I mean, Nebraska, I can understand. They're awesome. Northwestern can have
Wisconsin.
Their day. Wisconsin can have their day. The rest of them, I mean, the only thing that Purdue has going for them is they troll around a big drum every so often.
and they play at the Indy 500.
Yeah, that's it. But
well, they got that.
Yeah.
What's Illinois doing? they ain't playing at the Indy 500.
Yeah, it's like you have a look at the West Division of the West versus East Division of the SEC, and it does look better. Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Louisiana State, Mississippi State, A&M. Then Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Missouri, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt. Essentially, what they could have done is moved Florida and Georgia to the West Division, moved Louisiana State and Arkansas to the East Division, and then they could have had a division where whoever wins out would be guaranteed a playoff berth, and then the division no one cares about.
Yep.
Simple as that. And there's
Very
proof
simple.
I know what college football is.
There we go. And you're the only Englishman that does.
Yes. Although I do get quite a lot of games, to be fair.
That's good.
We get every Saturday. We start off with Lizzie Hale going, ESPN College Game Day.
Woo!
We're coming to your city.
It's like who can make the most sexually suggestive sign?
I know, right? Then we get the first game that's on ABC. Then we get the SEC game of the week from CBS. Then we get ourselves basically Saturday Night Football. Then we get ourselves a late game. So we get 4 games a night, back to back to back to back, which is pretty cool. Though I think it's gonna be an Oklahoma Michigan State for the triple final. Calling it.
That could be a very interesting game.
It would be Big 12 versus Big 10.
I can see Clemson losing for sure. I don't know if Alabama is going to get beat by Michigan State.
I mean, when's the last time Clemson played in such a big game situation? That's the thing for me. Oklahoma are used to big game situations. Alabama.
Yep.
Alabama is a weird one. They've been used to choking. Basically, if you stop the run game, you stop Alabama. Simple as that these days.
Yep. Yeah, because their quarterback, the only thing he can do is run.
And let's be honest, Lee Corso is going to don the elephant on College Game Day, and every time Michigan State has had Lee Corso go against them on College Game Day, Michigan State have won.
Maybe he's doing it on purpose.
Maybe he doesn't actually like
conspiracy
Alabama.
Theory.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, it'll be very awesome, and it will happen on New Year's Eve. Do you know why?
Why?
New Year's Eve will be so awesome watching college football through confetti. Missing out is not an option, so plan accordingly.
Oh, Lord.
Bad is that commercial. You know what it is, Dave? That's an hour. We're done.
Wow. Fastest hour in podcasting.
I know. Is there anything we missed?
We could talk about it really quickly if Kyle Busch is a legitimate champion after missing 11 races. I don't think so.
It's a yes-no situation for me. Because of the fact that, you know, if you can come back, make the chase. And let's not forget, this isn't an issue necessarily of Kyle Busch, it's an issue of NASCAR. If you can come back, play by their rules, make the chase, and then actually run the distance from there, then he deserves to win the championship. But Harvick was the better package in 2015. And in any other racing series, Harvick would be your champion.
Yep.
So it's not Busch's fault.
Yeah, I know.
It's NASCAR's
No,
fault.
it's not. I'm not saying it is. Yeah. Well, we feel bad that Kyle Busch got his leg broke. Well, hey, those are the risks of running all those Xfinity races, Kyle. Sorry, you beat up on the slow people in the Xfinity series, and you think that you're a champion by beating up on all the slow guys in nothing cars, and then you break your leg. And I want to be in the chase still. Okay.
It's like the kid that goes from his high school to junior high to steal everyone's lunch money, then finds out that he's just been beaten shitless by the junior high school quarterback. Oops, still your fault, you jackass. But
next time I see a bunch of 10-year-olds playing football, I'm gonna go out there and knock one of them down. Like, yeah, I'm so tough.
Yeah. But it's not Kyle Busch's fault. Under the system that it is, Kyle Busch is a champion, and he deserves to be champion. But NASCAR, in my opinion, stops being a legitimate racing series and basically becomes 18 races of Fox shouting
World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah, it essentially is basically tin top WWE, and the fact that WWE like to bomb off NASCAR so much and get people on Monday Night Raw so often, it kind of sums up, because sometimes you can't tell the difference between one and the other. It does suck that Gordon's gone. It sucks that we're going to lose Stewart next year, but actually, you think about some of these drivers, I think actually, more than anything else, these drivers getting old, they've just had enough.
They probably have had enough. Tony Stewart's clearly had enough. He basically said, hey, I'm in the point where I don't need to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get out and go have fun doing racing and other series, because that's actually fun. This is BS, so
yeah.
Deuces.
And let's be honest, I wouldn't give it I'll give it maybe 3-4 years and Stuart-Haas will be closed down. If Haas is going to put all their efforts into Formula 1, then Stewart doesn't care about NASCAR. I'd either see a Stuart-Haas team in IndyCar, but I don't necessarily see one in NASCAR for too much longer.
You know what? Let's save the Stewart-Haas talk for... Let's try to do like a racing season preview, shall we?
2017.
Maybe in February-ish.
Yeah, we could do that.
No promises, but we could talk about Haas F1 and see what their car actually looks like, maybe, and go from there.
Yeah. And on that bombshell, it's time for me to hit this. Right. I still miss the old music.
I do too. We gotta find it.
Yeah.
If anybody knows where the old music is and can supply it for us, we'd be forever grateful.
Hashtag find our porn music. Well, that has been that has been a one night only episode of the Wil and Dave show here on Motosport TV. I've not drunk any alcohol for the entire show, so there's one thing that has been exceptional. Dave Judson hasn't wanted to kill me. Everyone on Twitter has been mediocrely nice, so thank you very much everyone on Twitter, on social media, on YouTube, etc, ad nauseum. Dave, final thoughts?
Well, we should have called this the Wil and Dave show one night stand.
We should have done. If we got porn music, we might as well have called it a one night stand. Let's be honest.
Well, maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. Don't ever give up.
It's been fun. Thank you everybody for listening. Appreciate it.
We'll see you in about 2019.
And of all my podcasts, this one was the most recent.
Indeed so. See you later, kids.
Good night.